Hello guys, welcome back. It's your boy Sekani in the building. Guy, be stable man. Hello guys, welcome. It's your boy Sekani in the building. I am so glad to have you today. It's another episode of the Millionaire Secrets where we talk about money and what we've learned from books that talk about money. And today I'll be talking about 4 things I learned from the book Millionaire Next Door. That book is a really great book for everybody who wants to learn about money and the habits of people who are millionaires. And I'll just go straight to the things I have learned, and I categorize them into 4 points. And the first point is that the society serves us a wrong image of the millionaire, and that is one of the essence of that book, because actually people have millionaires next door that they don't know are millionaires. Why? Because the image of the millionaire most people have are very flamboyant and excessive people, which eventually, after research, was found out that most times these people are actually not as wealthy as we think they are. Okay, so you can trash out your idea of a wealthy person because most times they don't look like what you think they are. All right, at the end of the day, you get to find out that people who actually accumulate wealth actually have some habits and characteristics that do not even allow them live like the picture we have in our minds of millionaires out there. So eventually, millionaires could be someone in your neighborhood, could be someone around you, because most times they don't look like they are really rich. But you don't actually have to look so rich for you to actually be rich, because wealth ought to be accumulated. Okay, so people who spend flamboyantly and excessively and try to keep up with a very flashy lifestyle most times are not proficient accumulators of wealth. They are most times under accumulators of wealth. And so the picture the society serves us of wealthy or millionaires are actually not true every time, because some of these millionaires keep a very simple lifestyle under their budget, and they just go through life in a very good way without having so much flashiness to them. And so you need to ditch that idea. Okay, and then going on to the next point, I will just say that secondly, millionaires are frugal spenders. That means they put in so much thoughts into their spending. That also means they are not wasteful spenders. Okay, so anybody you see out there who is a proficient accumulator of wealth, who is someone that is good with money, they don't spend money on frivolities. They don't spend money on things that are not, income generating. Most of the time, they always put in so much thoughts to their spending, and that is what makes them good accumulators of wealth. Actually, because for you to be wealthy, you need to be a proficient accumulator of wealth. That means you must be able to plan your spending, do your budgeting, invest, and actually just have good habits that helps you accumulate wealth. Okay, and so one thing I learned from the book is that for you to actually be able to accumulate wealth, you must learn not to be wasteful. You must learn not to try to buy things that you most times do not need. Okay, because that doesn't help when it comes to accumulating wealth. Okay, so accumulating wealth is something that is very important, and that's why you hear me say it again and again and again. And that brings me to my third point. You need to have a mindset of accumulating wealth. If you have that goal of being a millionaire, you have that goal of being financially free, of being financially independent, you then need to understand that your goal actually is to accumulate enough wealth to make sure that if peradventure you stop earning today, you stop earning income today actively, like you are working and earning income, you should be able to survive, all right, on the money you have right now for a good number of years. Okay, and that is what makes you a good accumulator of wealth, because you have accumulated enough resources, enough money to keep you running even though you stop earning income. And that is why I said earlier from the first point that the picture that the society gives us of wealthy people most times are not correct, because some of these people we see probably can't sustain their current lifestyle for some years if they stop earning money today. So some people live from paycheck to paycheck, some people live with little or no amount of money accumulated. So for you to come to that point where you are financially independent and you can call yourself wealthy, you need to have a mindset of accumulating wealth. That means you need to strategize, you need to plan your time and energy and resources to things and ventures that help you accumulate wealth, because that is actually the goal. Okay, that is actually the goal. And finally, I'm going to say that from this book, I learned that one of the very good characteristics of people who are good accumulators of wealth is that their goal is not to look rich, but to actually be rich. Okay, that is really important, because for some young people, when they think about being rich, they always think about it in the sense that, oh, okay, when I'm rich, I'm going to look the part. I'm going to look like this. I'm not saying you're going to look poor, but you don't have to look flamboyant and excessive just to prove the point that you are rich, because that is going to actually affect you in accumulating wealth. Because people spend a lot of money trying to look rich, and in the process of doing that lose the goal of actually accumulating wealth, because most times they spend money on things that are not income generating. They are things that just help you look like you actually have a lot of money, but they don't return money back to you. So these people spend money on things that are long lasting, things that have quality, things that can help them sustain this goal of accumulating wealth for a long time. So those are my 4 points. All right, first of all, the picture of the millionaire that we have from society is not totally correct. These guys are normal guys. They live ordinary lives and they learn to accumulate wealth. Secondly, millionaires are frugal spenders. That means they are not wasteful in their spending. They do a lot of budgeting. They put a lot of thoughts into planning their finances and planning their money. And thirdly, you have to have a mindset of accumulating wealth, because that is where the goal is. That is where your power to become wealthy is. That's where your power to become financially independent is, your mindset of accumulating wealth. And fourthly, they do not try to look rich. They actually try to be rich and accumulate a lot of money to sustain them, even though they stop earning money today. Okay, and I hope you learn from this. If you haven't read the book, you can go ahead to read the book. And if you don't have the time to read the book, well, that's my summary of the book. So thank you for watching. Thank you for waiting up until this point, and catch you in another episode of the Millionaire series. Thank you. I'm signing out.